everybody, it's your girl Taisha, and welcome to my page, Taisha Undefined. If this is your first time watching, I ask you to go ahead and hit the subscribe and bell notification so you don't miss a single one of my videos when I post. So as you guys can see from the title of this video, this is going to be about exploring the life and just the legacy and talking about all the things that surrounded the great rapper, pillar in his community, Nipsey Hussle. So I do want to give a disclaimer, before what happened, I didn't know any of his songs, not a single lyric. Honestly, I still can't tell you now, besides what's been going, I still can't tell you any of his songs now, besides the ones that have been circulating on the internet. And that's not really the only reason I know of his songs. But the only thing that I did know about him was he was like one of the conscious rappers, and he was dating Lauren London, and they had a child together. That's about as much as I knew about him. But today is now Sunday, April 7th, so that makes a week since what happened. I know the night before he had passed away, I was scrolling on YouTube, and I don't know, it was just in my feed where the interview he did with Lauren London, the video him and Lauren London did for GQ was in my feed, my suggested videos. So I said, let me click on it, because a few days before that, it was some girl had tweeted. She was like, yeah, it's almost awkward watching videos of Nipsey and Lauren sometimes because they're just so in love, so it's almost cringy to watch. So I clicked on it because I figured, oh, this must be what she was talking about. But I watched it and I was like, nothing seemed awkward about it. They just looked in love or whatever. But while I was watching, it's like I was just looking at him. For one, I was just thinking, wow, he's really attractive. Forgive me, is that weird to say? Whatever. One, I thought he was a really attractive man, but two, I could tell they were really in love, and he was really dedicated to getting those answers right. So looking back, I was just something that I picked up on now was while I was watching the video, I kept paying attention to him for some reason. And I didn't notice that until afterwards. I could be tripping though, who knows. But yeah, so I want to make a video and talk about it because a lot of things surrounding his death, like I said, I didn't know any of his songs or any of his music. I just watched that one interview with him the night before we got the news that he had passed away. For some reason, when I heard about it, it just felt really personal, and I feel that's why I wanted to make a video about talking about a lot of things about his death. I think represent a bigger issue in our community, meaning the Black community, and just spiritual as well. Within the Black community, spiritual issues, and also Black males definitely, or men in general, but really Black men. And that's what I wanted to make a video about, and what I wanted to dive into, and why I feel this thing has affected all of us so personally, because it is personal and it's greatly spiritual and wrong, period. So if you see me looking down, I have my notes here on my laptop. I recorded my phone, otherwise I better roll them down in my phone, or yeah, whatever. I could have used an notepad, but this is what we got. So what I first want to talk about is how I found out about the shooting first, and then the death. So I was on Facebook. I know I had got on Facebook. I worked last Sunday. What I am work. This had to be yeah. Because I was thinking, because I know they said it happened in the mid-afternoon, but I remember I got to work at 6. But 6 here where I live in Georgia, and it was only 3 o'clock in California. So yeah. So I got off work and I got on Facebook, and I seen someone had shared the article from TMZ saying he had got shot. And I was like, oh dang, I just watched that interview about them last night, but I kept scrolling because I didn't think nothing of it. Because I was saying to myself, oh yeah, he's gonna be okay. It's fine. He's gonna be okay. But then I seen another article was saying he was shot 6 times. I was like, that's wild. But still, something in me was saying, okay, well, he's gonna be okay. He's gonna be okay. So at this point, I turned to get on Twitter because that's what I do. I have no life. I just scroll through social media apps. I get on Twitter. I see people talking about it for a minute. Then I keep scrolling. I think maybe my TL had refreshed or whatever. And I see people was like, dang, I just feel so bad for Lauren and them kids. Everybody was talking about Lauren and the kids. I'm like, why are people talking like he's already dead? Because you know how people do. Like, they be quick to try to kill somebody. If they hear about somebody sick, they be preparing to deathbed and funeral. That's how people talk. So I'm like, okay, something's not right. So I head over to the Twitter search bar where they have like all the activity in the news, and that's when I see the post that's saying he's dead. He had died. So I was like, my first words that I said was WTF, but I actually said it, and I was just like, wow, that is crazy. Like, it really touched me personally for some reason. I say for some reason because it's like I didn't know any of the man's lyrics, like any of his songs or nothing. The only thing I had was I just watched that video of him last night, which is, I'm glad I did watch it because I feel like God gave me like an insight and to feel the emotions and things, seeing their relationships and stuff, so I could be inspired to make this video and understand something better about them and being able to connect, because what happened was completely wrong, and I feel like a direct force to just evil working. I don't think it was of God at all, of course. But the whole thing kind of opened my eyes to another issue in a spiritual sense. So the thing about his interview, I'm gonna use two interviews specifically, what really just touched me was that GQ interview, and then it's the interview one of his last interviews from last year's Grammy that he did with Extra. All this happened, and going back and those videos have been shared on Twitter and like on YouTube as well. They're resurfaced. Watching the videos and looking at him just gave me like a deep sense of like, I really felt like it wasn't his time to go, and it was looking at him really felt like this was a life that was just cut short. And I don't mean that in a sense of where, you know how you can have teenagers who get into like deadly car accidents and like different things like drunk driving and stuff, and people say, yeah, their life gone too soon or gone cut too short because of how young they were and how they still have like all this life to live. I literally, looking at those interviews, just looking at him and different videos people have been sharing, it really feel like it sincerely wasn't his time to go. And just he had a life robbed from him from a week. I'm going to get into that later. That's literally how it felt. And make no mistakes, I am 100% a Christian believer in God, and I declare right now Jesus Christ as my personal Lord and Savior. That is me. I am Christian. Make no mistakes about that. But it did have me questioning the whole idea and premise of we all have a set time and date for when we're going to pass away. But I'm glad that I did have like some more time to sit on this and think through it and work it all out, because in my mind, again, like I was thinking like this literally was not this man's time to go. But I definitely feel like we all have the set date of when it's going to happen. When this goes into a way deeper issue also. Of course, like, God is in total control. There's nothing that can happen to us that will catch him by surprise. He already knows everything that's going to happen before it happens, and it's all planned and mapped out. So I do believe we have a set date, and God, of course, is aware of that when it's our time, but how it happens and how things transpires, and just blatantly, let me just say this, murder, that's not of God. So while we do have our day, everyone has their day when it's their last day on earth, the way that it can happen and how it's carried out can be a true direct force that is working of evil. So yeah, and I'm glad that I really love how Charlemagne explained it, that this was nothing, it was definitely not of God, but it was pure evil, and it was pure hate. And someone else that helped me better to understand this, Lord Duval, had put a post too, and he was like, it helped me kind of change my perspective, where I was thinking that, okay, I don't know about the whole set time and place for death. Lord Duval had made a post that kind of put it in perspective, that where he says something to the effect of, he came here and he did his purpose, and he did what he was supposed to do with his time here on earth. So his life was not taken. He fulfilled his purpose and fulfilled God's will. And I seen that Nipsey's father has said something else along those lines, saying that he believed that he was sent by God to do a work. So that helped me to open up my mind to see something different. I sincerely feel like he shouldn't have been taken that way. It's definitely not by that person. That was just a true act of just hate and just evil, blatant evil. I feel like he did what he's supposed to do, and he absolutely got the job well done from God. I just got real spiritual, but yeah, that's what I believe. Okay, so that was my first spiritual point that I wanted to make about the how we all have a set time and place to die. I'll touch on that point too, of seeing how he fulfilled his purpose as well. How the Lord knew about posting his dad, to connect that to something in the Bible to give y'all a better understanding. If you're thinking like me at first about if you were thinking like me right now, how it was truly just not his time to go, and he still had like greater things ahead, which I still do feel like it wasn't his time, he was cut short. But we're not God, okay? But I'll be honest and transparent and say I still do feel that way, but he truly did serve his purpose. But to connect that back to something in the Bible, I just want to remind you, God called Moses to lead his people out of slavery and bondage from Pharaoh in Egypt. He called them to lead them out to, he called Moses to lead them out of bondage and slavery from Pharaoh and the Egyptians. Moses wasn't allowed to see the full promise and to see the promised land. He died before they got there. So sometimes God can call us to do the work and plant the seed or whatever, but he won't allow us, or we won't get the chance to see the full blessing or the manifestation of it to grow. So that's a little bit perspective about that. It is so quiet in my apartment. Oh my gosh. The next point I want to make is about how the enemy looks and he waits for an opportune time. Okay, so you've seen the story. So it's been told that Nipsey was going out to help his friend get back on his feet, who had just got home from doing like a long bit in prison, and he didn't tell his security or anyone else he didn't have any weapons on him, and no one did who was around him. So the enemy plots and is always looking for an opportune time to attack God's children when we're weak and when we're defenseless, and when he sees like an opening for an attack, he's going to strike. Jesus, when he went out to the wilderness for 40 days, It says the enemy came to tempt him and to harass him. But after Jesus passed all these tests and like cast him out, Jesus passed all these tests and attacked him back with the word of God and with Bible. It said the enemy left him for a season and for a better opportunity, for a more opportune time. And that's like, that was something in the spirit. It was in the spirit, in the spiritual world, but that still carries out here today on this earth. We are living here in this physical world where there are forces just evil and workings of evil going on, like where we can't see in the spiritual and high places, but it's carried out here on earth, and it's carried out in a whole bunch of different type of ways of violence and just malicious acts. And I absolutely believe that's what happened in this case. The enemy was using this man as a pawn to attack Nipsey and all that he was doing for his community and really doing a work sent and ordained by God. And that's just what the enemy hates. He wants to tear us down. He sees who is really on God's side and doing a positive working and truly God's children, and he wants to attack us. And it's just full of hate, and that's just evil, and that's what a certain belief possessed this man to not only attack him once, but come back and try to finish the job. That's just evil. That's the only thing. To make someone do that is a full working and possession of evil, and I want you guys to know that this is a physical thing he did, but it was more greatly spiritual in how the enemy plots and he looks. And if you're a Christian or you're a child of God watching this, or even if you're not, I just want to encourage you to really start a relationship with God right now, specifically through Jesus Christ. Because even though I do believe Nipsey, he was not a Christian, I believe he was practicing Islam or Muslim. Nevertheless, I encourage you. I am Christian, so of course I would tell you to follow Christ. But I do believe God and Jesus to be full of grace. So I do believe in my heart that Nipsey truly is with God in heaven. The enemy is going to attack people who are against him, definitely. The enemy is going to attack people who are working against him, and he used his man to attack and take Nipsey's life, is what I absolutely believe. Absolutely, if you don't have that relationship with God through Jesus Christ right now, it's too late, because there are greater forces out here in the world that we cannot defend ourselves from and against on our own doing. You need someone greater. And it's only by the name of Jesus that these demons cower and have to bend down to and obey once he calls and demands them to leave and to exit. So the enemy does not play and fight fair. It's in the Bible that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. He does not intend to just hurt you or harm you. He intends to kill you blatantly. So that's my word for that. This man, he was really weak and he was cowardly. He seen that Nipsey was defenseless and no one else around him was to defend him. No one had weapons on them or anything. So he took advantage of that and caught him basically where he was lacking in the hood terms, and seen an opportunity and a chance and took it. And that's just what the enemy does. And that's hurtful. And it ties into my last point when I talk about the weak, fragile masculinity that truly exists. This is about the weak and just fragile masculinity overall in general. When that dude, so the man, this man's assassin is what I will call him. All those shots that he fired, he was really trying to let go and unleash that weakness that's within himself, that he knows is there, that he is a coward. All those shots, that man never felt more power in his life until he did that. That's the only reason, that's the only way that can make someone circle and shoot someone a couple times to come back and circle, finish the job off. how much hate and just insecurity and weakness can be inside of you. That whole situation, when he let off those rounds or whatever, when he did that, he was really trying to take off and kill off a part that's within himself. So I use him as an example, the fragile masculinity. And next, I want to tackle into something that's been, of course, bother me and just truly stirred and caused trouble in my spirit since 2012 with Trayvon Martin. And that's, even though that was like a separate situation, didn't apply to this, but the Jordan Davis, Mike Brown, Tamir Rice. And that's these officers who get this badge. All these officers who killed these unarmed young black men, black teens, for no reason other than pure hatred and because they know they can get away with it. I feel like a lot of them truly were bullied when they were younger, so their weakness and that feeling of being defenseless still carries with them here in their adulthood, and that's still inside them. While they're physically these grown men, I feel like they still have that cowardly little boy within them, and they use this gun and this badge to get loud and boisterous because they didn't have that confidence and buck in them when they were younger. So now they have this badge and think it proves something that they didn't have when they were younger, and use it to attack people and get away with stuff. Still just weak and cowardly, and again, fragile masculinity. And my last point and thing that I will tie into this too is men who would be like 25 and up and still holding on to just that bitterness and hate they had from their first heartbreak or first girlfriend or first time being cheated on or something, and use it to just seek revenge on every other girl after that and hold on to that as a crutch for their reason, for their trash behaviors. So much fragile masculinity and weakness. And women, I feel like we do a lot of coddling with men, especially in this gender equality generation. We give a lot of men passes on things because from a young age they were taught to coddle their emotions, and you can't do that because that's like a little girl thing. You're not supposed to cry, dry your tears, walk up, get over it. And a lot of men weren't taught on how to handle and deal with their emotions. And we see now when that's full festered and fully manifested, men not being taught how to handle their emotions, they come and it's acted out in all these things that we see and all these different characters that I just talked about and presented. These are just like 3 examples that I've given, but like men, I think fragile masculinity and men truly not knowing how to deal with their emotions is just one of the biggest dangerous to the community as a whole, to this world as a whole. Not saying women, we trip as well, we do trip, but a man with a bruised ego and just fragile is like truly a poison, can truly be a poison and danger to everyone that's around him, his entire environment, his entire community. And that's not an attack on men, it's just these type of men. They truly need a healing that only counseling, I believe, or God can heal. I say counseling because, of course, I am a counselor, so why would I not recommend counseling? But that is just crazy, and I just wanted to come and make a video about why I feel this is affecting us all so deeply, because what happened and what transpired, I think represents an entire bigger and a bigger issue within the community, which really needs to be discussed and addressed. It's really sad to see that these 2 children will have to grow up and without their father and only have memories left. I pray for his daughter, his son, for Lauren, who I could tell were madly in love with each other. I pray for his parents, his family. It's just all senseless and just all evil, and it's hurtful that a man's life was taken away for something so senseless and so full of hate filled and envious. It's disgusting. And what it's telling me is just to make sure that I will continue to do what I'm doing in my work. If I see an issue, not just talking about it, but putting, I think what he's doing, he's just an example of really putting money where your mouth is. I'm broke. Really putting your foot to action and not just talking about something and being about it. So it inspires me to keep going with my channel, with my blog, A Bare Soul, and seeking to be a part of the healing of the community like Nipsey was. As you can see, like, nothing but good things I've been talking about this man, and it just shows something. I feel like he just showed love to everyone that was around him, and inspires me to be a light to those around me as well, and truly seek to get my counseling degree and go back and give back to those young men who suffer from trauma and PTSD, seeing their own friends and family members get killed on the daily and just have to succumb and adjust to life with just poverty. I do want that to be part of the specialty that I deal with when I do start counseling people, Black children specifically in impoverished areas, children who have been abused physically, sexually, kids going through depression, and teens with bullying. And I will have a video on my main channel, A Bare Soul. If it's not already uploaded, it's probably on the way. If you're watching this video, it's probably already uploaded, about dealing with bullying. So, and just inspire me to go forth and do what I want to do and be the hope and be the change that you'll want to see, just like I believe Nipsey was. And that's what I plan to do and will do in Jesus' name with my counseling degree, my career, and just my service through this blog, my ministry. But yes, this if you enjoyed this video, I should go ahead and subscribe and hit the like button, and I'll have a lot more videos like this making different topics. It'll probably either be on here or my main channel, A Bare Soul, which is my ministry and advice blog. I take questions on relationships, religion, faith, anything you could think of, anything that you want to talk about, just hit me up. Go to my website, abaresoul.com, and email me, taisha@abaresoul.com. Follow me on all my socials, Taisha Undefined, on Twitter and Instagram. And yes, anything you guys want to talk about, any questions that you want better understanding and things about, you can leave a comment down below. Please, no hate, no ignorance, nothing like that. We're going to keep it completely positive and peaceful over here. Or you can email me your questions as well. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. If you enjoyed, please give this video a thumb up, and also follow me and subscribe to A Bare Soul. Bye guys, thanks for watching.